Hey guys, what's happening? We are off and running for a new quarter, a new month. I started everything today. I took Thursday off. I said I was gonna just take the long weekend, clear my head. We're gonna hit the ground running today, but this today wasn't the start I wanted. Um, Unfortunately, something hung over from Friday that I had to go take care of this morning, and it kind of hurt my trading ability in the morning. I kind of missed some opportunities and kind of made me decide. I was limited to what my decision making could be, which is really, really tough in trading. But we'll talk about that here in a second. But, this is the question that a lot of us have coming into this industry. What is the truth? It's like when we sign up to join somebody's community, we want them to be truthful with us, or so we think. It's funny because deep down inside, we kind of know what the truth is, but we really don't want to hear it. We want our hopes and dreams to be stroked and inflated, and it's not the truth. The reality is nobody likes to hear the cold hard truth about the market. Nobody wants to hear that. Even though we say we do, we don't. We as individuals and as a culture tend to avoid or ignore what we need to hear most. And guys, I'm not talking about other people and not putting myself in it, because in the beginning I was that person. I kind of deep down inside knew what the truth was, but I didn't want to hear it. So I listened to everybody else, fell for their thing, because the truth doesn't sell. So why would somebody try to sell the truth when it doesn't sell? And, it got me excited. But honestly, it got me in the industry. So that I feel, thankful for. But I'm glad that I was able to learn the truth before it got too bad, and I was able to reel it back in and really understand what's happening in the market. So one of the things we have to do, if we're still in that denial where we don't want to believe what's really the truth, if we don't want to believe how ruthless this market really is, if you don't have an edge, and you don't sharpen your craft as you go along, it's gonna be tough for you guys. It really is. So welcome to you guys who are here with me for the first 2 weeks of the second quarter. You're doing our free trial membership. Welcome. I hope you guys get to see everything, the good days, the bad days. That's why I give you 2 weeks. I want you to see the whole spectrum. I want you to experience the swing trading, which is a lot slower than the day trading, and over these next couple weeks. So a lot of you came yesterday. You were in the session yesterday morning, so that's great. Hopefully you got some good information there, and you're really ready to tackle the week. So some of you guys that are saying you didn't know about it, when did I offer it? I offered it all last week, but it was at the end of the videos, and I did that on purpose because the people that had the wherewithal to complete a video is likely to have the wherewithal to really take in what I'm trying to say and what I'm trying to teach you. I'm a real teacher. I'm certified in the state of South Carolina. I taught in the classroom for years and years and years. I still teach the classes that new teachers coming into the industry have to take to get their license. So I'm still well versed in it, and I'm still knee deep in it. So I know the traits that individuals need in order to be successful, especially in this industry. And that's why this year, I'm saying, is a year of completion. And if you can't complete the video, or you can't complete the learning process, I can't help you. It's just that simple. It's not being ugly. I just want you guys to know, when you start something, you got to finish it. You can't cut it off just because you don't want to hear it. There's a lot of times there are things that you really need to hear that you may not want to hear. And it may be the difference between you making money one day and, you having to go back and drive Uber or something to make extra money. Just saying. Because I know that can happen to me at any moment if I start going backwards and not paying attention to the things I need to pay attention to. All right, so let's look at the market today. Pretty much did exactly what we thought it would do. It's not what I wanted, because a gap up like this kills my swing trades. What happens is those stocks gap up. It kills a lot of the measured potential that we had on the trade. And in some cases, it takes it completely out. But what happens when it gaps up so high, it sells all the way back off. You have people taking profit. The guys that were in there to the long side from before are going to take profit on a big pop like this. And a lot of times the stocks don't recover that day. Or if they do, they recover later in the day. And it sets up for the next day. So I'm just waiting for tomorrow to get in some of these swings. And we're going to talk about it in the morning. We'll look at some of where the swings are, and I'll get some new trade plans out there if I need to send them out. So we'll deal with all that in the morning. But just wanted to point that I didn't want to see this, but I knew that this was probably going to happen. The Bulls are in really good shape. And, what we talked about yesterday was the infrastructure plan and how the market kind of received it well, because it's not going to add, if things go the way everything's laid out, it's not going to our deficit like all of the stimulus plans did all last year. This is going to be paid with a corporate tax, not a stock transaction action tax. So don't even think about that. It's supposed to be paid with a corporate tax. They're going to roll back some of the corporate tax breaks from 2017 and use that money over the course. It's going to be over the course of the next 15 years. So it'll be a drop in the bucket to the corporations. They won't even feel it because they're probably going to make that much more profit every year anyway. So it won't even be much at all. So everybody, the market received that, and then the job numbers came out, and wham, this is where we're at. So really, really nice move, nice gap up. Tomorrow could be a rest day, or we could continue to build. We come in tomorrow, we know what to look for. We're going to have our game plan together tomorrow morning. We'll know tomorrow exactly what we need to look for, what the market's giving us. And so I'm not going to try to guess what it's going to do tomorrow. But like we're seeing now, technically, you would expect this thing closed strong, it to continue to push up. But we'll see tomorrow. I'll be reared up and ready to go. Let's see, where are we now? Just to figure out where we are now. Wow, we popped up to 407 aftermarket. So we're still grinding up here aftermarket. So not I don't know what that means, but it could be bad news for the Bears again. The bad news Bears. We'll see tomorrow. All right, so my morning, this is the level that we broke Friday. We confirmed it really big time today. So MGM was the one that I chose. Now I had Facebook, BA, SQ, all on watch. We didn't have any stocks on earnings to put on our watch list. MGM had an analyst upgrade. I think there was another one. I can't remember that. I probably should have put on watch, but it didn't have volume pre-market. But I went with MGM because it had the catalyst, and I typically trade Facebook and Boeing or SQ. I usually trade them for secondary trades. Typically, the opening range is too choppy, and it blows me up. And I just wait, and I always can nail the secondary trades. So I got this on the opening break, and of course, like clockwork, we pull back to the 9. It holds. We rip back up. Here's the 52-week high. Now, I would have added to this thing because I only went in 300 shares. I knew because I felt we were going to pull back. But because this was so close, I wasn't going to add and ruin my average or anything like that. So I was just going to let it run. Take it off at 42.50 and then kind of reset if I had time. But it tried to get there. I thought we were going to get 42.50 before I had to take off. I was supposed to leave at 10 o'clock, but I waited and this thing started pulling back. So I went ahead and just took it off because I had to leave. But eventually it did get up. So if I had stayed here, I would have made my target. But I couldn't stay. I didn't want to put this on autopilot because one of the things I said I wasn't going to do this year is trade and drive. I've got a 11-inch laptop and I've got Wi-Fi in my car, so I could trade driving down the road if I wanted to, and which I was doing in the past, which is really stupid. I didn't want to do that anymore. I quit that, so close it out, wait, and come back. So that was a deal on it. It just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But it's funny because Facebook had a really, really nice move, which you'll see. This was the second trade I took. Really nice breakout that I could have traded and made a couple points on. But, hey, but still, it chopped around and I wouldn't have been able to hold through this. I guess if I had taken profit, I could have put a range order in and let it work, but I wasn't going to do that unless I had taken profit. But you can see by the time I came back, this was rolling over. We put in the top, we pulled back, we tried to bounce, it couldn't, and we started to sell off. Once we claimed the 20, I got in. I was looking for a move down to the 50. And you can see the 50 kind of tracked up because this thing took so damn long to sell off. We actually sold off and bounced and, kept coming down. So I was able to get it at the 50 like I planned on it. I just took it all off. And if we reset under the 50, I was going to get short again, looking for a move down to the 100. But it didn't. It kind of held. Surprisingly, it held VWAP. And I say surprisingly because typically VWAP has been a non-factor, but still on some stocks, like the New York Stock Exchange stocks, a couple of stocks, I do see VWAP still hold some weight, or maybe it's starting to creep back in and be more of a force. We'll see as the quarter goes on, but I was surprised that this did hold VWAP. today. But that was that. We were done. I didn't really get any more. We kind of traded in a little channel, and then here we broke out of this after the market closed. But only 353 today, but green. Every little bit counts. Okay, every little bit counts. I'd rather have $350 green today to add to some good days down the road this week than coming in here with minus $500 and have to dig out of that hole before I can start adding to my account. So I'm not going to complain about it. I'm going to take it and go to the house with it. And we'll come back tomorrow, and I'll be in all day tomorrow, so I'll be locked and loaded and ready to go. All right, guys, so take it easy. Have a good rest of the day. Get rested, and I'll see you guys first thing in the morning.